Making the headlines tonight. Prime Minister Hun Sen says ASEAN may have to reconsider the implementation of the 5-point consensus if executions in Myanmar continue. Prime Minister Hun Sen expresses his desire to establish the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership Secretariat in Phnom Penh. The ASEAN Intergovernmental Commission on Human Rights concluded its final report on Tuesday and submitted it to the ASEAN Foreign Ministers meeting. And U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi landed in Taiwan on Tuesday night, despite heightening tensions with China and warnings from Beijing. This is the Daily Roundup on EAC News Channel. A very good evening to you. I'm Darshana Gochan. The 2022 ASEAN Chair, Prime Minister Hun Sen, has expressed disappointment over the Myanmar military's decision to go through with the execution of 4 opposition activists. He said this would force ASEAN to reconsider the implementation of the 5-point consensus if such executions continue. Speaking at the opening ceremony of the 55th ASEAN Ministerial Meeting on Wednesday morning at the Soka Hotel in Phnom Penh, Prime Minister Hun Sen said that while the implementation of the 5-point consensus for Myanmar has not progressed, the execution of 4 opposition activists last week by Myanmar authorities made the situation even worse than before the 5-point consensus had been made. He said, Cambodia, along with all ASEAN members, is deeply disappointed and horrified by the execution of these opposition activists, despite I and other leaders calling for a reconsideration of the death penalty for the sake of political dialogue, peace, and national unity. In the event that any other prisoners are sentenced to death, we will be forced to reconsider our role in the ASEAN 5-point consensus. Myanmar military authorities reported on 25 July that it had executed 4 pro-democracy activists accused of helping carry out so-called terrorist activities, the first executions in Southeast Asia in decades. The 4 men were accused of helping the militia fight the Myanmar army that seized power in a coup last year. Prime Minister Hun Sen has expressed his desire to establish the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership Secretariat to facilitate the effective implementation of the agreement, with Phnom Penh as the proposed Secretariat headquarters. EAC News reporter Dekanin has further details.
Speaking at the opening ceremony of the 55th ASEAN Foreign Ministers meeting and related meetings on Wednesday morning at the Soka Hotel in Phnom Penh, Prime Minister Hun Sen called on the foreign ministers to discuss initiatives related to rehabilitation from COVID-19, with ASEAN having agreed to develop 4 strategies, one of which is to enhance the potential of ASEAN international markets and broader economic integration. He said he believes that in order to achieve these strategies, the region needs a regional comprehensive economic partnership secretariat to promote the effective implementation of the ASEAN agreement. He said Cambodia is ready for this RCEP secretariat in Phnom Penh and has prepared a detailed proposal. I hope that Cambodia can get the support of ASEAN member countries as well as other members of the ASEAN agreement when Cambodia formally submits its proposal. The RCEP agreement, which researchers see as beneficial to Cambodian and regional trade, took effect on the 1st of January 2022. Through this agreement, Cambodia will be able to export goods to 15 countries comprised of the 10 ASEAN members and 5 ASEAN partners, China, Japan, Korea, Australia, and New Zealand, accounting for 28% of the world's total trade volume, and many major commodities in agriculture, agro-processing, and industrial goods will be allowed to be imported to these countries with an average duty exemption of more than 90% for Cambodia. In addition to the exports of goods, Cambodia will also benefit from other aspects of the agreement, including the transfer of technology, knowledge, and skills from foreign direct investments, as well as the creation of new jobs for people in Cambodia. According to a study conducted by the Economic Research Institute for ASEAN and East Asia, through this free trade agreement, Cambodia is expected to grow 7.3% year-on-year in exports, 23.4% in investment, and about 2% in overall GDP. Dekanin, EAC News.
The ASEAN Intergovernmental Commission on Human Rights concluded its final report on Tuesday and submitted it to the ASEAN Foreign Ministers meeting. In a press release issued on Tuesday, 2nd August, I-Chair President Kyaw Remy confirmed that the ASEAN Intergovernmental Commission on Human Rights had discussed, finalized, and approved the I-Chair 2022 annual report and the I-Chair Chairman's statement sent to the 55th ASEAN Foreign Ministers meeting. In addition, the priority programs and activities of ICHAR 2023 were finalized for submission to the Committee of Permanent Representatives to ASEAN and the ASEAN Foreign Ministers meeting for approval. The statement further added, the implementation progress of ICHAR's priority programs and activities was discussed with a thematic focus on children's rights, human rights, and the environment, trafficking in persons, business and human rights, the right to safe drinking water and sanitation, and human rights education. The meeting also deliberated on preparation for the 10th anniversary of the ASEAN Human Rights Declaration and the Phnom Penh Statement on the adoption of the AHRD, the ASEAN Human Rights Dialogue, and the 4th ASEAN-EU Policy Dialogue on Human Rights, which are scheduled to take place later this year. The ICHAR session also included an annual meeting with ASEAN Secretary-General Dato Lim Chok Hoi. No mention of human rights cases related to Myanmar were included in this declaration. The ASEAN Intergovernmental Commission on Human Rights held its first special meeting in 2022 from Saturday 30th July to Tuesday 2nd August at the Cambodiana Hotel. The special meeting did not include Myanmar's human rights issues on its agenda. ICHAR has, however, stated that it supports the ASEAN Declaration on Human Rights in Myanmar. Speaking to reporters on 30th July, the Director General of Administration and Complaints of the Cambodian Human Rights Committee, Uch Nippon, confirmed that the execution of anti-military government activists in Myanmar was not on the agenda of the meeting, but could still be discussed if raised by an ICHAR member.
If it's happening and you need to know about it, you'll get it all right here. EAC News brings you updates and breaking news in English across all of our platforms and channels. The EAC News app, YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and our website www.eacnews.asia. Join me and the rest of the EAC News team every day on your favorite channels. EAC News, Cambodia made clear.
U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi arrived in Taiwan on Tuesday night as part of her current Asia tour, making her the highest-ranking U.S. official to visit the island in 25 years. On Wednesday morning, she visited Taiwan's parliament to meet with Deputy Speaker Tsai Chi-chang, then went on to meet with President Tsai Ing-wen at the presidential office. While meeting with Tsai Chi-chang at the Legislative Yuan early on Wednesday morning, Pelosi was quoted saying, "We come in friendship to Taiwan, we come in peace to the region." Later at the presidential office, President Tsai Ing-wen presented Pelosi with the Special Grand Shu Qing-yun Medal in recognition of her contributions to enhancing exchange between the U.S. and Taiwan and for her long-standing support of the island. The Taiwanese president called Pelosi one of the island's most devoted friends and said, "Thank you for taking concrete actions to show your staunch support for Taiwan at this critical moment and for expressing the U.S.'s consistent policy supporting Taiwan's self-defense." Tsai further stressed that Taiwan would not be backing down despite heightened military threats from China. Pelosi emphasized that her delegation's visit to Taiwan was made to show support to the island and to make unequivocally clear that the U.S. will not abandon its commitment to Taiwan, saying the U.S. was proud of this enduring friendship. Now more than ever, America's solidarity with Taiwan is crucial, and that is the message we are bringing here, she said, echoing her congressional delegation statement released on Tuesday night. Speaker Pelosi's visit comes at a time when relations between the U.S. and China have hit a particularly low point. It also defies the numerous stark warnings made by Beijing in the past few days, leading to soaring tensions between the two superpowers as China considers Taiwan to fall under its territory. Following the announcement of her arrival in Taipei, the Chinese Foreign Ministry issued a statement on Tuesday night, saying that this visit is a serious violation of the One China principle and the provisions of the 3 China-US joint communiques. Chinese state media also reported that China's military will hold drills near Taiwan from 4th to 7th August and had warplanes flying close to the median line dividing the Taiwan Strait on Tuesday before Pelosi's arrival, in addition to warships skirting close to the median line since Monday. China's retaliation to the U.S. visit also comes in the form of trade and exports, as its Commerce Ministry announced on Wednesday that it would be suspending sand exports to Taiwan, and Chinese Customs also announced that it would be suspending certain food imports from the island, specifically of some fruit and fish. In response to the heightened military threats, Taiwan's Defense Ministry stated on Wednesday that the drills conducted by the Chinese military violates United Nations rules and Taiwan's territorial sovereignty, blocking the island's air and sea and threatening its important ports and urban areas. The ministry said it has closely monitored and strengthened preparations and will respond appropriately in due time. Meanwhile, other countries in the region have responded with great concern over building tensions. Japan's Chief Cabinet Secretary Hirokazu Matsuno expressed concern about the announced Chinese military drills in waters around Taiwan, as the maritime areas overlap with Japan's exclusive economic zone. An official from the South Korean presidential office has also called for dialogue to maintain regional peace and stability, saying, "Our government's stance is that we will maintain close communication with the nations concerned on all issues under the banner of the need for peace and stability in the region through dialogue and cooperation." North Korea, on the other hand, has vehemently denounced the U.S. visit, calling it an impudent interference, and has expressed its full allied support to China. Speaker Pelosi and her delegation's public itinerary did not include a visit to Taiwan. Her next stops on the Asia tour are South Korea and Japan. However, so far Pelosi's only confirmed meeting in Seoul is with National Assembly Speaker Kim Jin-pyo. The South Korean presidential office has stated that it welcomes Speaker Pelosi's visit to Korea and looks forward to making many achievements during her meeting on Thursday.
请总统致辞，各位贵宾请就座。
President Tsai will now deliver.
Thank you for watching the Daily Roundup here on EAC News Channel. For more breaking news and updates, you can check out our website, eacnews.asia, or search EAC News on Telegram, Smart TV, or at your favorite app store. More from the EAC News team tomorrow night at 8 p.m. We will see you then.